Hello friends, welcome to the channel The Disciplined Reader. Our today's book title is High Output Management by Andrew Grove. So let's start. Anywhere you go, you see an organization. The coffee shop, the supermarket, and even your favorite restaurant is considered a production company. This book is a deep dive into the inner workings of companies and how to improve their performance by using techniques such as production flow, market research, and rewards. About the author. Andrew Grove is an engineer, entrepreneur, and author. At the age of 20, he moved from Hungary to the US. There, he finished his education and began his business adventure. Andy Grove became the third CEO of Intel, and he helped shape the company to make it one of the most successful organizations in the world. Introduction. A lot of companies are built every day, but for some reason, not many of them make it. Some companies achieve global success while others fail miserably. In this book, you will learn how to create a high performing company that will achieve success. First, you will learn the basics of production and how you can create a high quality product while spending the lowest cost. Remember that your customers are intelligent people and they can know when they are being tricked. So, you need to master the production games and win over your competitors. Second, you will learn how to plan your actions. You will learn how to study your market, evaluate your current state, and find a gap that will help you meet both ends of the equation. Third, you will know the different types of units an organization can be built upon. And because this book is trying to teach you how to be successful, it will help you create an organization that can run with both unit types. This will be called a hybrid organization. Then you will learn how to be a great manager and do your job right. You will learn how to review your team, judge them if needed, and give your verdict, which can be a reward or a warning. Finally, you will learn how to train your team, not only new members of your team, but even the old ones who need constant improvement. You will learn how to create your teaching materials and how to be more valuable to your company. This book is the most valuable business resource you can find. You will learn a lot of valuable skills that you need and you will grow as a result of these lessons. The basics of production. Delivering a breakfast. When you hear the word production, you think about big companies and large corporations. That's not always true because even the simplest operations can follow the same principles of production. The most important principle in production is time offset. It's when a manager tries to reduce the cost and increase the value at the same time. Each operation should follow a process of production, an act of assembly, and a test. For example, imagine you are working as a waiter. Your job is to prepare a simple breakfast in the specific amount of time you are given. You have a time span from when the customer enters the restaurant until he sits on the table. That gives you about 3 minutes. Your breakfast should consist of hot buttered toast, a 3-minute soft boiled egg, and a hot cup of coffee. You have to be smart and quick and prepare the three ingredients at the same time so that they are both delivered hot and fresh to your customer in just 3 minutes. This may seem like an easy operation, but making this breakfast is equal to any production system you can find in any company or factory. Your job is to deliver a product which is a 3-minute breakfast that should satisfy the demands of your customer at the right time and with the right quality and at the lowest price. That's why your customers come to your restaurant. You have a product that is fresh, delicious, and not expensive. To be at the level of your customers' expectations, you need to have a perfectly equipped kitchen. You can either have a lots of equipment or lots of waiters, or you can have a huge inventory of ready-made breakfast. Either way, you need to spend a lot of money to achieve that purpose, and that's not a smart decision for someone who's looking to make a profit. Being practical means that you should think of ways to deliver your breakfast fresh at the right time and without spending too many costs. You need to lower your costs so that you can sell at a competitive price and attract more customers. The best solution is to look for a production flow. You need to identify the most important piece of your breakfast and the one that will take the longest. Coffee is always hot and ready. All you need is to pour it into a cup. Toast is also very easy to make. That leaves us with the main part of your breakfast, which is the soft boiled egg. The quality of the egg and the freshness is very important. If you serve your egg hard boiled or cold, you may have a complaint from your customer. You don't want to lose your reputation, and since cooking the egg will take the longest, it should be the first step in your production process. Start by boiling your egg, then move to the task that will take some time. This will be your toast because your coffee is always ready and hot. While boiling your egg, work on heating and adding butter to your toast. Then pour your coffee. Once you're done, your boiled egg will be ready as well and still hot. That's how you can make your breakfast with the best quality and the lowest cost. This is what we call the production time offsets. In this example, the process of production is the boiling of the egg or toasting. The assembly is the act of putting all three ingredients together on one plate. The test can include checking if the coffee is hot and the egg is soft boiled. In this example, the process of production is the boiling of the egg or toasting. The assembly is the act of putting all three ingredients together on one plate. The test can include checking if the coffee is hot and the egg is soft boiled. Planning today's actions for tomorrow's output. Planning is an activity that we all engage in every day. It is not just managers that plan and organize. To understand planning, you need to go back to your production principles. Remember that planning is all about trying to control the future. To achieve that, you need to focus on three aspects. First, you need to find a market for your product. If no one needs or desires to buy your product, then there is no need to plan or work hard. Second, you need to identify your current situation and capabilities. Ask yourself what kind of product you can handle at present. Third, you need to find the gap between steps 1 and 2 and try to plan to fill it. You can do this by adding new tasks to your plan or modifying your current ones to create the right product for your market. Once you have determined what you need to do, you should look at your plan from two time angles, now and the future. Don't just plan for the present demands of your customers, but try to anticipate their future demands as well. This way, you can beat your competitors in creating a product that is useful now and forever. Let's look at this example. Cindy is the middle manager and the manufacturing process engineer. She is responsible for maintaining and improving the quality of microchips produced in a plant. For Cindy, she works with two things in her environment: objects and influences. Objects are the new tools and processes that she needs to test, and influences are the people whose opinions can interfere in her planning and decision making. For example, a development engineer can interfere in Cindy's job by asking her to experiment less on the new processes before she arrives at a decision. At the same time, the production manager wants Cindy to experiment more on these processes. Other team managers also try to influence the decisions of Cindy. The production manager, for example, is always eager to get products into production and soon be released to the market. Among all these influences, Cindy works as a counselor whose job is to coordinate between all these different demands. Her environment isn't the market itself, but the team managers. She works to create processes and tools that will please these influencers. They are her real customers. Cindy then would analyze the performance of each team and compare it with her plans. When she finds a problem, she tries to change or improve it. If a team is always late on delivering complete reports, Cindy's job was to deal with the issues and plan for a better outcome. Cindy's plans always had one focus: think of future outcomes and try to generate plans that can be executed right now to reach that goal. That's how planning should be. If you are in charge of making plans for your team, you should consider your environment and demands. Check what you want to achieve now and in the future. Then make plans to achieve both results. Hybrid organizations. In the business world, there are two types of organizations. First, you find a function-oriented organization and a mission-oriented one. A mission-oriented organization is an organization without a center to report it. Each team has to work separately on doing what is necessary, and all the teams are completely isolated from each other. In this type of organization, each team is responsible for building their location, buying their merchandise, hiring and keeping their employees, and selling their own products. Each team should send a financial report to the corporate executive office at the end of each month. On the other hand, a function-oriented organization is completely centralized. Let's say this organization has 5 departments located in 5 different buildings. For each function, there will be one team responsible for all 5 departments. For example, the personnel team is responsible for the hiring and the maintenance of employees in all 5 departments. Of course, the goal for managers worldwide is to build an organization that has a balance between the functional and the mission-oriented approach. This type of organization can be referred to as a hybrid organization. For example, the Intel Group is a hybrid organization. It has both functional departments and the mission-oriented ones. You can think of this type of division like the army units. Each unit is separate in terms of training and battle, but all of these units get their food and clothes from the same functional department that takes care of all units at once. By following this hybrid approach, each unit can focus on doing what it does best. Suppose the unit is responsible for sales, which is a functional unit. In that case, it should be responsible for all sales of the company, including different mission-oriented divisions such as the microcomputer group. For Intel, they believe that this hybrid system is the best option for running their organization. First, by having functional units inside the company, they reduce the cost of hiring external help such as a salesperson. Second, if there was a problem and a change needed to be made, units can communicate with each other and respond quickly to solve any issue. Finally, by having the functional groups supporting the mission-oriented groups, all teams can focus more on doing quality work faster, which is good for inter-cooperation. If your company is running on one scale, you can try the hybrid approach to increase sales and productivity. Modes of control. In business, 3 important factors can control the behavior of customers. First, your free market can have a direct impact on your sales. If the item you're selling has a fixed price that is well known among your customers, you will be obliged to abide by this price. If you try to increase your prices, no one will buy from your store because there will be another store selling the same item for less money. They may have even a better item at a lower price. The second force that can control your business is contractual obligations. If the service you are selling doesn't have a fixed price, you need to sign a contract with your client. This contract will explain your rights and duties too. The third force is cultural values. Sometimes the item or the service of your business changes all the time, and you can't give it a fixed price or a contract. In that case, cultural values such as trust and loyalty come into play. You may exchange one word with your customer and it works like a social law that both of you can't break. Now, to explain further, let's imagine that you woke up and found that you have a flat tire. You realize that you need a new one, so you go down the road looking for a store to buy a new tire for your car. You visit the first store, check the prices, and then leaves towards the second one. Once you reach your third store, you think and compare between prices, then you pick your best option. Because a tire has a fixed price, you can know which store is best for your interest. So you go there and make your sale. After your car is fixed, you drive down and you stop at the red light. Did you think I have to stop before you did? No, because you know that it's a cultural law to stop at a red light. You continue driving and you see an accident. Suddenly you stop your car and rush over the people who are hurt to help them. You are just being a human with values. You can't help but do everything you can to help those in need. These are exactly the forces that control any business, and as a manager, you need to be the one setting the rules for a contract, but you can't control the free market. As for cultural values, you need to try to represent the values and goals of your business so that everyone in your team can follow in your footsteps. Performance appraisal. Manager as judge and jury. As a manager, it's your responsibility to review the performance of your team members. These reviews are the ways which we use to evaluate the performance of our employees. After this evaluation, you should tell each employee how they are doing, and if there are any members that deserve rewards, you should give them some sort of reinforcement for even better performance next time. The purpose of the evaluation is to continuously improve the productivity of your team. You can divide your review into 2 parts: skills and motivation. For your team members' level of skills, you need to always try to find ways to improve their weaknesses. As for motivation, As a manager, you should always provide positive and competitive energy among your team to increase their desire to work harder. While delivering your evaluation, you should always act as a judge. Don't be soft and give clear and firm reviews. Because your company depends on you to find the best team, you need to be serious and directly stick to the point even if it will hurt. Now, you may ask what metrics you should use to evaluate your team. Let me give you an example. If you have a team of 4 members, you need first to identify the aspects of the members' performance. You should check their progress, their performance, ability to meet objectives, and your notes on their performance in meetings. Write down your thoughts on a piece of paper and try to include as many details as possible. You may end up with a long list of skills that you wish your team would improve upon. Try to narrow this list down by combining the ones that have the same goal together. Now it's time to evaluate each member of your team using these matrices. You will find that some of your employees are weak in certain points. If these points keep showing up over time, that means that you need to deliver a message to the person or the number of people who are constantly suffering from the same weakness. Now, it's time to think of ways you can support your lacking members and help them improve their skills. You should help them by whatever means necessary because that is your job as a manager. Sometimes you may be surprised to find something very alarming about one member of your team. Don't be shy and don't be so soft. Always remember that you are doing this for the sake of your company and your team members. Being a manager is a difficult job, but it's your responsibility to create the best performing team you can have. Using rewards and reviews will help you if you know how to play the role of the judge and the best friend at the same time. Why training is the boss job? In the previous chapter, we have learned that a manager's job is to improve his team's performance. We learned that one way to achieve that is through reviews and rewards. There is another way that a manager can boost the skills of his team members. It is through training. Most managers may think that training isn't the job of a manager, but the job of the boss. They are wrong because managers are responsible for nurturing employees who can produce more effectively and raise the company's profit. If you are a manager and you are just starting with your training, you need to think of the following principles. First, your training should include the materials that are related to your company. Don't include anything extra just because you like it. Second, your training should have a fixed schedule. Your team should know when the training session starts. They should be ready to learn and improve their skills. Third, your training should be long term, not just one lecture and one class. Before you start your training, you need to brainstorm a list of things you believe your team members must learn. You can ask them directly and learn from their feedback. Then collect data to start building your manuals or lectures. To not be overwhelmed, start with a simple course, then prepare for the next. Training your employees is very important. For example, at Intel, there was an accident that caused the company the loss of $1 million in a few days. In their silicon fabrication plant, one of the machines responsible for doing sophisticated tasks was running wrongly. It was the responsibility of the machine operator to notice the change in the machine direction, even if it was a slight one. Because this employee wasn't trained enough, she finished the whole day producing silicon using the wrong procedures. Imagine how much silicon she was able to make in one day. When the mistake was spotted, it was already too late. This employee had already produced more than $1 million worth of processed silicon. This silicon, of course, had to be thrown away, and the customers who were waiting for their orders to be delivered had to wait for more than 2 weeks. In companies, mistakes like this happen all the time. And who is to blame? It is the team manager because they didn't see his employees' weaknesses and they didn't train the member to be more skilled in the craft. Now that you know how important it is for a manager to train their team, you can start preparing for your lectures and set a schedule to improve your employees' quality of work. Conclusion. Organizations are always seen as being big and with hundreds of employees. But even running a coffee shop can be considered an organization and follow the same principles big companies have. In this book, you learned that by mastering the basics of production, you create valuable products while spending low cost. you learned that by using a trick called time offsets and finding a loophole in your production flow, you could beat your competitors big time. You also learned how to create plans that are based on your market research, your current abilities, and the gap in between. By meeting this gap, you have won the game of money and you have hit the jackpot. Since an organization can have functional units or mission oriented units, this book has taught you how to be greedy and aim for having both function and mission in your company. By doing this, you will be creating a hybrid company that is more productive and less expensive. Besides, you learned the three most important modes of control, which are your market, your contracts, and your cultural values. And if you are a manager, you learn that your job is to create a team that will add more value to your company. To do this, you need to constantly review your team's performance and help your employees grow by training them. This book has been the sum of many mistakes and many lessons learned from the most successful and highest performing teams. All the lessons you have learned today are valuable, so make use of them and start building your powerful organization today. So, in the end of this summary, I want to thank you all for listening the whole summary. And if you have any suggestion or feedback regarding this summary, you can write it in the comment section and I will definitely read them. And if you find this summary helpful, you can like and share this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.